Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for KonoSuba Season 1 on Netflix. And I fucking love this show. Holy goddamn motherfucking shit. This show was a goddamn riot and a hoot. I mean, I had heard things about this anime, and I'd seen memes and shit like this, but holy fuck, it did not prepare me for the bag of assholes these people are. It really reminded me of like Seinfeld and shit, where it's like, oh god. So, we get introduced to our main character, Kazuma, who is pretty much going off. He gets this video game. He's pretty much a shut-in neat dude. Then he comes back and he sees this girl about to be like run over by something, and he goes and he decides to push her out of the way, and he dies. And then we get introduced to this goddess Aqua, and the thing is, it starts going like nutty, and she's like pretty much making fun of his death, where it is the most ridiculous fucking thing possible. The thing is, it was a tractor. The girl wasn't going to die anyway. He essentially was going to try and push her out of the way, but kind of freaked the fuck out and essentially died of fright, pissing himself, and his parents had to identify it. She's laughing her ass off, and she's like, well, the thing is, you could get reincarnated in your world, or you could go to this other world and get reincarnated there and kill the Devil King. And he's like, fuck you. And he can pick this thing to kind of take with him and everything, and he decides, you know what? Fuck you, lady. I'm taking your ass. You're a goddess. You should be able to help me out. And then another goddess pops. She's like, you can't do that shit. And then another goddess pops and says, yeah, you can. And she's like, what? You can't do this shit to me. It's like, the consequences of my own actions. Shit. And then they get teleported into the world. And Kazuma is still in his tracksuit and everything and trying to kind of figure out where this is going on. The thing is, this doesn't follow your typical Isekai kind of thing. It makes fun of that shit. He like has to go to the Adventurers Guild and all that, and he's doing all this stupid work being a day laborer with Aqua as well. Aqua is pretty much just like a heavy drinker, doesn't give a shit, is pretty dumb. I mean, Kazuma tries to like figure some shit out, but however, he gets in his own way as well. These characters are nicely fleshed out and rounded out. Kazuma does do stupid fucking things, but he also does think about other things as well and tries to figure out how to get out of certain kind of situations. And then we get introduced, like he's doing all these things. He's trying to level up, get all these stats and everything. Funniest goddamn thing is the cabbages, man. I didn't fucking expect this shit. Like, harvest time. What the fuck's going on? Flying fucking cabbages. And like how much money and XP he got from that shit, as well as Aqua. Try to get skills. Him pretty much getting introduced to this thief lady to get this steal skill. And that almost every time he utilizes it, he steals panties. Which gets him into interesting situations. And then the formation of his adventurers party. Because Aqua's like this archpriest kind of thing. We then also get introduced to Megaman. Megaman? I'm fucking mispronouncing that for some reason. Megaman? Megaman, yeah. And she is like an archmage, but the only spell she knows is Explosion, because that's the only one she really likes, and she can only one time use it. And it's funny, because we had seen that Kazuma and Aqua were trying to deal with these toads to pretty much grind out XP, but Aqua was like getting slimed on and eaten, and Megaman's like, oh, let me do this, and her utilizing that, and them getting slimed up. And the thing is, Kazuma tried to kick Megaman out of the party, but she then started making a scene, and it's like, oh god, look what that man did to the child, and all the like goop and shit is like, fine, fuck you. But this then turns them onto the radar of this kind of like this crusader, Holy Knight Darkness, who's another lady who is kind of more of a masochist, who wants to get into crazy kind of situations like that, get hurt and all that kind of shit, get degraded and all that. It's like, oh my god. And the animation sells this shit because of the facial expressions and everything that kind of goes on. And it's just, oh my god. This is actually another, this one is more kind of gnarly, not gnarly, nutty kind of style, whereas Quintessential Quintuplets was more kind of your typical kind of anime beauty kind of style of what's kind of going on. This one, I love it because it does have those normal kind of bits where you get the animation style, but then when they start, like, expressing themselves, sometimes the expressions are just crazy wacky as shit, and you get some weird kind of fluidity of motion kind of things when they're doing certain kind of action scenes and everything. They go all out with a lot of kind of shit. It's fucking great. Like, a complete kind of package. You get characters that are fucking assholes, and then you see their comeuppance and you learn about them and seeing them kind of bond together as a team, dealing with one of the Devil King's generals. Kazuma takes Mega Man out to pretty much shoot off the explosion once a day, and he starts learning, and they're like shooting at this abandoned castle. However, the Dullahan dude is like, why the fuck is somebody blowing up my goddamn castle? And Kazuma and Mega Man's like, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up. And then we get Darkness gets a curse put on her. It's like, you're gonna die in 7 days, you assholes. And just having this whole confrontation, and then Aqua's like, yeah, I dispelled that. And he's like, you didn't even come to do this kind of shit. Like, doing none of the shit that the Isekai kind of, like, action hero game things would be doing. It's like, nah, she good. And he's just like, what the fuck's going on here? And that fight, as they're able to come together and defeat the Dullahan, was just great. And Kazuma getting into the whole kind of succubus situation where he's like, this would end all wars. And then he thinks he's going to have this succubus thing going on, and he thinks Darkness is a part of it, and gets into a risque situation with her, and he tried to play it off. There's like, oh no, I was under the control of the succubus. He's like, I knew you were, you fucking little asshole. It's just seeing them deal with all this weird, stupid shit before they kind of like take out the Dullahan, deal with all this other kind of shit. Oh my god, it was nuts. And then always being on the back foot for a lot of the repairs and shit. Like, they get all this money, and Aqua destroyed the wall of the town, so they had to pay all that kind of stuff. And then this destroyer thing came, and they had to deal with that, and that was actually pretty cool. We get introduced to Wiz. Wiz? Yes, a lich, and she's actually really nice, and shows that, like, not all the people in the Devil King's army are, like, bad people, but Aqua's just being a complete and utter asshole to her. And I love that when they had to deal with the whole mansion, because Wiz would exercise pretty much the graveyard and get spirits out of there. Aqua pretty much just put a fucking lid on the goddamn thing, wasn't doing what she said she was going to do, which then led these spirits to pretty much haunting this fucking mansion thing. It's like, fuck you. But they, like, took out this destroyer thing, which was pretty kind of cool how they were able to work together and utilize everybody's skills to take down before we find out that the core is self-destructing. And was like, alright, I can teleport this. Got any place? He's like, my luck's the highest? Fucking do it. However, your luck has pretty much been shit. He died a second time before Aqua revived his ass. It's like, this Snow Samurai dude chopped your head off. You better watch that shit. But the thing is, yeah, Kazuma gets arrested because it was teleported to, like, one of the most powerful people in the kingdoms and blew up their house. And he's like, oh god. And everybody's freaking out, and that's where the season ends. And it's like, oh my god. I know I'm kind of going all over the place, and just a little bit here or there, but it was just a refreshing kind of one, and I understand why people are, like, holding this up because of how well it just fucks with the isekai kind of genre, and does it in a way that's actually kind of cool, of like, yes, they're transported to another world. Here's this lore and all this kind of stuff, and how everything kind of works out here, but then being introduced to people having to deal with the consequences of their own actions. Aqua acted like an asshole to Kazuma. Kazuma, being a kind of equal asshole, is like, I'm gonna fucking make you come to my fucking shitty ass situation. But then he's like, oh god, I gotta deal with this drunk asshole all the time, saying that she wants all this shit, wants this money. She gets into like gambling debts and shit that Kazuma has to pay off. And then introduced to Megaman, who only knows one spell, Darkness, who gets all kind of freaky and can't hit shit. Like, if you need a meat shield, she works. But if you need her to actually hit something, like her fight with the dual hand, I'm like, oh my god. Oh my god. And Wiz doesn't like the dual hand because she's because the dude would just fucking roll his head to look up at her skirt. It's like, all of these different kind of things. But the important thing is, it doesn't hold up and say, these are assholes and the way they behave is acceptable. They are assholes. They get the consequences of their actions. Sometimes they do try and do the right thing and try and help people, and sometimes that goes completely and utterly fuckballs wrong. It just works very well. Like, at least to me. If you don't like it, that's quite alright. It's definitely one that you're either going to be in it or not. Because if you don't like these assholes, ooh, that's not going to work. Like the animation, if you're into animation and world building and everything, I don't know if it would save you because of how much time it focuses on the characters and everything. With me, this has like a trifecta. It's like animation, world building, plot, and characters all just working together. Characters performing plot and just rolling that shit. Not any kind of plot demandsy thing going on. At least that is overt to me. It's all very well done of like, characters did this, this informs that. Rolls organically for me. It's like, so I'm definitely going to look into more of this series at some point because I just fucking love it, and it just surprised me out of nowhere. It's like, BAM! I'm like, thank you, universe. I just, the cabbage thing, fucking, I lost my goddamn shit. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Calling all adventures. Who's ready for harvest? What? Cabbages. What the fuck? And getting all the money. And then Cosmo's like, yep. He just able to fucking get them. Just bloop, bloop, bloop. And it's like, he got like a couple million gold or whatnot. It's like, I just laughed my ass off. And even though I didn't laugh out loud throughout the whole thing, it was so goddamn enjoyable and so funny for me. I just had a great time. And I hope that if this sounds funny to you and sounds interesting, that you have a good time with it as well. And if you don't, I'm sorry about that. That's happened sometimes. Some of my friends or people that recommend certain things just didn't jive with me. And that's alright. But this one, it jived with me, and I'm so happy that it did. So those are my opinions on the season and on the anime. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.